Joining us on the podcast today is a former top 10 ITF junior in the world, an ITA All-American, and a man currently sitting at a career high of world number 201. Welcome onto the show, Rinky Hijikata. Rinky, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me on.
No, it is my pleasure. And what is so amazing to me is you've played north of, by my calculations, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you've played 126 matches in the past 19 months. That you have the energy to even chat with us for a 30-minute stretch of time. Much appreciated on our end. And so, with that question in mind and in that spirit, you're coming off of an appearance in Los Cabos, where obviously you were able to qualify, get a win in the main draw, got to face world number one Daniil Medvedev. Talk to me about that experience. What's it like to game plan for the world number one?
Yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable for me to be able to play in Los Cabos. It was my second tour event, I think, ever. And, just to be able to qualify there and play in the atmosphere that was on center court there was unbelievable. And obviously, I was very happy to, get through a few of those matches and have the chance to have a crack at Daniil. And I mean, it is tough to kind of find ways to try expose him a little bit or as much as you can. And but yeah, it was a lot of fun playing there. And he's number one in the world for a reason. He was very tough. And but yeah, just super fun. And I'd be pumped to get the chance again sometime.
Yeah, look, 4-3 is about as good as anyone did last week. Like, that's an impressive performance, let's be honest. And what's so amazing to me, and I want to get back to that match, but according to your ITF website, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're playing a 25K in Columbus this week. Is that true? And, talk to me about that scheduling, because in my mind, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm actually in Columbus at the moment. I'm scheduled to play tomorrow. I had entered Chicago main draw, just thinking I'd hopefully get in there, and then didn't enter qualies, so I could hopefully, sneak into Montreal qualies. I entered there as well and just entered kind of this as a backup. I ended up being I think 2 out of Chicago. I would have been in Montreal qualies had I have gone, but, the list dropped so late and I would have gotten there so late. I would have gotten in 1 a.m. on the day I played. It just would have been a very quick turnaround and with not the guarantee to play either. So, I just, before the US Open as well, I thought, probably a good thing to get a few matches in, hopefully, get a few wins here and build from there. And yeah, I mean, even here, the competition is nails. So there's no easy matches still. And yeah, I'm just happy to, play a few matches and hopefully get a bit of momentum going.
Do you feel more comfortable going from an event like Los Cabos? I mean, again, 126 matches in the past 18 months. The majority of them have been at the 25K level. What's that transition like from a mental standpoint? Because you have the grandeur of, the 250 in Los Cabos. You've got the world number one there, and Nori and Felix, all these guys. What's it like making that transition and going from that sort of event to, a 25K where you've got the target on your back?
I mean, it's not too bad. It's more everything in Los Cabos is unbelievably organized. They breakfast, lunch, dinner is covered. Hotel's unbelievable, and right on the beach, and just everything is a lot easier at the tour level, I think. And we've rocked up here, and we're having to pay for parking at the courts every day, and 1 can of balls every day for practice, and having to, all that kind of stuff is obviously, it was nice going up levels, and, everything just seems a lot easier. And then, but I mean, playing wise is, I guess, it's, I don't know. I feel like, at the end of the day, you're playing 1 match per round and you're just trying to beat them. So everything else apart from that I do throughout the week is pretty similar. I mean, it's not too different, to be honest.
I think Sam Paul and Trip Phillips would approve of that answer. I think it's a good answer for what it's worth. And I'm curious because, again, you go up against world number one Daniil Medvedev. You talked about how difficult it is to manufacture opportunities for yourself. I went back and watched some film of some of the matches you've played of late, a match that stood out to me. I remember distinctly you played Ben Shelton in Orlando, and, you ended up beating him 3-6. But I remember watching him hit a kick serve out wide on the deuce side and looking at your face, and you were just like, what am I supposed to do? Like that, you were just like, there, I got nothing there. Like, that's too good. And I'm curious, for you as you've advanced levels, what are the differences? What are the things you've seen, and what sort of adjustments do you have to make accordingly?
I think the higher you go up and the better guys you play, like there are going to be times where it's kind of completely out of your control. Like you can stick to your plan as well as you can, and you can kind of execute at a high level, but still, like, they're going to sometimes come up with stuff that's just you don't really get to play at. Playing against someone like Shelton, like he's serving rockets, it's very, very tough to make any inroads on his serve. Playing someone like Medvedev, like he just doesn't really give you anything. Like you have to serve unbelievable to get a free point, and if you're not, then he's not missing too many from the back. So it's just whereas I feel like sometimes you're in a bit more control of the match and the outcome, and you can kind of set up points the way you want at futures and somewhat in challenges. Like once you go up levels, it's kind of a little bit taken out of your hand.
Fair. We don't know each other particularly well, but just so you know, I sent a group chat to Will Blumberg, Brian Cernock, and Matt Kiger, and I said, hey, I need all the ammo I can get. And just so you know, I consider myself part of the Carolina family.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so therefore I can ask this question, and feel free to swear at me. Against Medvedev, you make 45.9% of your first serves. Is that you serving like shit, or is that you being like, look, I have to go for more, otherwise it doesn't really matter?
I mean, probably not good enough, is it?
Yeah.
That definitely wasn't in the game plan, I can tell you that much.
Fair.
I was hoping to serve a bit higher percentage there and maybe get a few more free points, but I mean, again, it was probably not the best serving day. Also kind of multiplied by the fact that he is so tough, such a great returner. Like you feel like you have to hit your spot so well, and I guess maybe I was pressing a little bit, and I mean, that's something I'd probably want to bump up a little bit for my matches coming up, and if I ever get to play someone like that again. But definitely wasn't planning on a 45% first serve percentage.
Yeah, that's fair. I imagine, that wasn't in the scouting report. It was at 47 really. For what it's worth. You were like, if I can hit
48 and above.
Yeah, exactly. That's a winning performance for you. But, again, I mentioned that match number, 126. That's a lot. Obviously, you're trying to launch your pro career, and it's worked. You're up to 201 within a year and a half's time, but why play so many different events? Last year, I think it was you played over 50 in like a 6-month stretch of time. Why make that decision?
I mean, first off, when I took the fall off last year, I was trying to get as many matches as possible because, I had a limited amount of time. I only really had 6 months, and that was kind of my 6-month testing period to kind of see whether I, had the goods or not to leave early. And I think the best way, or the only way you can kind of really find that out, is if you play a lot and play a lot of matches, against a lot of different people. And it is tough playing week in, week out, but I think that's kind of the rigor of playing on the ATP circuit. And I feel like that's also the best way to probably get better. You can practice all you want, but it's not really the same pressure. You're not getting exposed in certain ways that you wouldn't in match situations. So for me, the only real option was to go out and play as much as I could. And then I also kind of wanted to get out of the futures as quick as I could because, it can be grueling trying to play futures for a long time, and it can, it's tough to kind of do well every week. And if you're not doing well every week, then it's tough to get out if you're not playing a lot. So that was kind of my plan, I guess. And, I'm happy I played that much because coming into this year, I felt really match fit, and I guess it's worked all
Yeah, I
right.
was gonna
So
say, for what it's worth, it's clearly working. I mean, look at the schedule now. You're just coming off of a win in Los Cabos, and you talk about that grind on the future circuit. May of 2021, you and North Carolina are coming off of a national indoor championship winning season, which we're going to talk about, I promise. You make the round of 16 at NCAAs, or maybe it was quarterfinals. Either way, you're an All-American that season, and you go from the beauty that is the campus of the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill to a month in Tunisia. What is that transition like?
yeah, I mean, it was tough because I got a few weeks off as well. I was rehabbing my ankle in Chapel Hill. Life was pretty good. Met my girlfriend at the time as well, and everything is going well. And then I've gone month in Tunisia. Yeah, I mean, pretty bloody hot there.
Yeah.
No washing machines, no laundry. Yeah, it was tough. I was sharing a room with two other Aussies, both at Tulsa, Cody and Connor DeMarco, and
Of course.
at Tulsa, and we were sharing a room with barely any space. I was on the little pull out, and yeah, I mean, it wasn't glam, but I mean, in saying that, it actually was. It wasn't. It's quite a nice place. It's on the beach. The food's quite good there. So, but yeah, a month there was a long time. It felt like an eternity, but I feel like it was good for me. Kind of made me realize, like, yep, this is really what I want to do. I really want to have a crack, and if I can do this and tough it out here for a month, especially when I'm maybe the first few weeks I wasn't doing so well, then I can kind of guts it out for the rest of the year.
What's tougher, the tennis or just the living adjustment? Like, I could see you guys being like, well, I made semifinals this week, so I get one of the beds. Like, that's just how this is going to work. Or, is it adjusting to that, or is it the rigorousness of like 4 consecutive, you may have made second round the first 2 times, but during that span, you're playing, 13 total matches? That's a lot of tennis on the body.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more when you're in the tournament, I felt it was fine. You're playing a match every day, you're getting a bit of a groove, you brekkie, you play your match, lunch, dinner, and it's pretty cruisy. But when you're out of the tournament, I mean, there are barely any practice courts. We're getting up at 5 a.m. to try get a hit in, and sharing 4 a court with like the oldest tennis balls you could imagine. Like it was more that sort of stuff that was kind of a bit grueling. But when you're in the tournament, it was actually fine. I felt it was fine. You're getting a bit of a rhythm and a bit of a daily schedule, and you're on your way. So yeah.
I like that. A little bit of brekkie, and then you fire in the match. We hit lunch, still make it time for dinner. Yeah, that's how it works when you're cruising. You mentioned meeting your girlfriend during that stretch of time. Word on the street is that Matt Kiger introduced you to said girlfriend. Is that true?
Yeah, there is a little bit of truth in that. Kai gave me a little bit of a push, and by a bit of a push, he definitely egged me on for about 45 minutes. But I guess he's done pretty well there. So I think I owe Kai one.
45 minutes of Matt Kiger is more than enough. That's like
Yeah,
that's
definitely more than enough.
The perfect
Definitely
dosage
more than
there.
enough.
No, I agree with you. And again, talking about some of your Carolina teammates, I mentioned in the intro, you're a former world junior number 9. You had made the quarterfinals of the Junior Australian Open. You were top 750 in the world going into college. And, all of us tennis nerds remember, we hear this freshman Rinky Hijikata coming into North Carolina. Wait, did he just win a round at the Australian Open qualifying prior to coming to school? Like, and this kid's going to come play college tennis. My question to you would be why? Why come to Carolina? Why was college tennis right for you?
Oh, I mean, I think I was always kind of planning on coming to college, especially I had a few years there in juniors where I was hurt quite a bit and I wasn't playing too much. So kind of wasn't tracking along the way that I'd hoped to be. And, I think my mum also really encouraged me to go to college. Just, it's something different, start your degree, and what's the worst that could happen? And especially for me, I felt like I needed a few years to kind of develop and get better. I think, I don't think I was quite ready at that time to kind of hit the tour full time. And I think there were definitely areas that I needed to improve on. And then why Carolina? I mean, I think Chapel Hill kind of speaks for itself, and the team there is obviously very tight knit. I've not met a group of guys like the UNC tennis team, and just a bunch of very good blokes, and the coaches there as well. Coach Paul and Tripp have done such a good job, and they've helped me out so much and helped out the rest of the team so much. And, they care unbelievably about their players. So, yeah, I think that's why. And I don't, it's been probably the best decision of my life. So, yeah.
Did you know much about college tennis prior to coming to school? Because I know there's a strong Australian heritage in college tennis. There are plenty of players who have come over and had tons of success. But, what you say it was in the plans, was that a known plan? Like, is college tennis, because we always talk about its relevance, it's nice to hear it was a relevant pathway in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I knew like too much, but obviously like I'd heard through different players who had gone, and a lot of them had said that it was a great experience. It's a lot of fun, and you got a lot of chances to get better and play a lot of matches. My sister actually went to university in the US as well, so I kind of had a bit of information from her, and she really encouraged it as well. She thought it was great, and she thought it would be great for me. So yeah, definitely had an idea, but I had no idea how the seasons worked. I had no idea about the conferences. Didn't really know too many schools either. So I also had my coach back home at the time, Dave Moore, kind of helped me and get me in contact with coaches and stuff, which was a major help, because without that, I probably would have been pretty clueless, to be honest.
No, and obviously you get thrown to the wolves as your first season at Carolina is that COVID year. Now, again, Cracked Racquets fans will know, Carolina tennis in particular, these last 3 years, I got a second degree in it with all the tennis matches we've called for your school. Let's start with the big question. Let's get some people angry at us. True or false? The 2020 team was clearly better than the 2021 team.
Oh, what, our team?
Yeah, UNC. That the 2020 team, maybe not relative to one another, but relative to the field. I'm 100% sure the 2020 UNC team, because, we were there calling the National Indoor Final. I got to see young Rinky in his first couple weekends on the job. That team with that will, there was just an edge to you guys. And I feel like that was the better team, despite the fact that the 21 team won the title.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely even the playing field a little bit the fifth year. I felt like a lot of good schools had brought back very good players while also adding good recruits, and obviously a lot of the teams became very deep. Like there really wasn't a drop off at 5 or 6 or anything. Everyone on the lineup was a very, very good tennis player. And also in saying that, our team we had the exact same lineup pretty much, but I think maybe we struggled a little bit with health in our second year in 2021, I guess, and that maybe hindered us a little bit. But it's hard to say in hindsight. You look at everything and you can pick and choose what you want to look at. But at the time we thought we had a great team. I would have backed anyone in our lineup to get the job done on the day, and I guess.
What was that like to join a 12-1 team that year, a team that clearly had national championship aspirations? And, you have guys like Will and Ben who have been as good as any players in college tennis, veterans like Simon and Mac, all these guys. Was it the level you were expecting? Was it more? Was it less? What did you think?
No, it was pretty cool. Coming into college, like it was a big goal of mine to, compete for the big titles and play the big matches, and against the big schools. That's why you want to play college tennis. Like, you want the rowdy atmosphere, you want, the big crowds and everything. And that's why it's so enjoyable. Having guys like Blum, Benja, Cerny, and Peck, Sondi, everyone, they definitely helped me kind of transition into that, because my freshman year, I didn't really know what was going on too much. I felt a little bit of pressure coming in, because I felt like, there's a bit of expectation here. I want to do as much as I can to help the team win. And then quickly that was kind of pushed away because everyone's winning too quick and I couldn't even finish a match. So, coach loves playing clinch. So my record, I think my freshman year was like 2-0 or something. And we played like 15 dual matches. So, it was a lot of fun for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious, again, The energy. I remember seeing a young you. I remember the Ohio State match in particular because I think you did get a win on the board in that match. And I just remember you going nuts and just being like, oh, yeah, like if this is the energy he's going to bring match in, match out, he's pretty good at tennis as well. It felt like college tennis was the right channel for you in that moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, I love playing in front of crowds. It's a lot more enjoyable when even last week in Mexico, like there was big crowds and,
Mhm.
some people might look at that as a negative, like more pressure and more expectation. But for me, like I just find it so much more enjoyable, and in the team atmosphere in college as well. You're playing for something bigger than yourself, which is really motivating for me. I want to put in the work and I want to get the win for the guys around me and the guys who aren't playing as well, because they don't get a chance to, go out there and change the result, but they're kind of dependent on you. So I really like that. And yeah, I mean, a few of those matches in other teams getting a bit chippy and all that. And I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty competitive guy, and as soon as that starts going on a little bit, I feel like that really raised my level. So yeah, that was definitely fun.
In that spirit, you get to replay one of them, winning the National Indoor Championship in 2021, the Henry Squire match, ACC semifinals, also 2021 season, or that Ohio State victory, because I remember seeing you guys get to that final, what it meant in that moment. You get to pick one of the three. Which do you replay?
Um, I'm not sure. I mean, like winning the indoors was unreal, just because I mean it was just pretty special for our group of guys. It'd been something we really wanted to do, and it'd been a massive goal for us. And at that time, like it was such a high. It was such an unbelievable feeling. At the same time, that ACC semi-finals was pretty cool. Being down 3-2, playing next to Peck, and being moved on the indoors. I think we'd struggled against Wake a few times in the last few years before that, and that was my first match, I think, back from my ankle. I did against Virginia. I hadn't played too much. I hadn't really been practicing either, so I was under the pump. And Henry was obviously playing massive on the indoors, and that was pretty cool as well. Just like, seeing the reaction of the guys once I saved a few matches and managed to get it done, and then trying to will Peck on and in his third set buster and him just ripping that forehand to clinch was, yeah, that was both of those pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, a fun moment, certainly to view as a fan. I have a theory, and it may be silly, and call me out if it is, but I feel like why college players are having so much success right now on the pro tour, it's because guys like you or the Nunos of the world, the Noris of the world, you can go on and on and on. To be the best at something, you just get confidence from that you can't match anywhere else. And like you, Nuno, all these guys, you were some of the best college tennis players in the world. Like, again, it's not the biggest group of people, but to be the best at something, I feel like that does numbers for your confidence. And when I look, obviously, now at the Pro Tour success you've had, 6 titles in the last 18 months, did you gain that confidence from your college tennis experience? Has that been helpful on the Pro Tour?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think so. I mean, just coming in, playing a match, 2 matches every week, and just chalking up wins is massive, I think, just being in those pressure situations and being able to respond well. I mean, I think winning's kind of a habit, when you start doing it often, I feel like it's so much easier to get out of those tricky situations and you just respond well to pressure. And I mean, I think it did help my freshman year. I was playing number 3 and, Blum and Benja were just toweling up at 1 and 2. So it made my life a little bit easier, like I was still obviously playing against quality guys, but it just kind of let me ease into college tennis a little bit. I felt like I was playing quite well. And once I started racking up a few wins, it just became, it just, I don't know, it just became like, yeah, a little bit like clockwork, you kind of get in those tight situations and you just feel like you know what to do. Whereas like, if you lose a few on the trot, I feel like sometimes it is hard to come back from that and kind of swing it around.
Yeah, no, it's why I'm convinced if Cernak goes pro, he can be top 400 pretty quickly because what he's done the past 2 seasons, like when you just know I'm going to walk out on the court and win every match I play, you just to reach that level of success, it translates to other matches when you're in pressure situations. You build that confidence that you can't fake. And by the way, I still think the most underappreciated moment, maybe not, maybe you guys talk about it, but Ben beating Sven Law in straight sets in the indoor finals, like just out of nowhere, because he had not played well that week. And I think he would be the first guy to say it, was maybe an all-time moment from Ben.
Yeah, I mean, that's Benja, though. I think he
Yeah.
loves a big moment as well. He's not going to back down from a big match. And yeah, I mean, I back him 100% of the time to get the job done if the chips are down. And that's exactly what he did. So, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really that surprised at all. I haven't ever really brought it up to him. Maybe I should because he obviously was a massive part of us winning that match. But to me, that was just like I was expecting that. So, yeah, to me, it wasn't that big of a surprise. Benj was a quality player. And I mean, I'm not really betting against him too many times in a college dual match.
Yeah, you and Ben, by the way, maybe the best doubles team of the 2020 season. That streak there at 3 doubles
Yeah, not so
undefeated.
much the 2021
Yeah, look, we're
season.
gonna forget that one. Yeah. Sometimes you need a divorce. Sometimes it needs to happen. But
Yeah, I think we kind of plateaued there a little bit. Maybe
yeah,
we brought it back in the Winnipeg Challenger. We played a match there together, and
yeah.
I think we can do all right if we get another shot,
That's what I
another
like to
year of
hear.
eligibility. We can slot back in at 3 dubs.
Yeah, look, you've got a couple left. Will's got at least one more yet left. We can run it back. It'll
Yeah.
all work. But again, as you've transitioned to the pros, and I mentioned all of the success, you're now 78-32 since the start of last season. Which, by the way, not too shabby, my friend. Well done. The 6 titles as well. What's the biggest difference as you make the transition to the pro game from a tennis perspective? What are the things you just have to do better to sustain that level of success?
I mean, the big one's just staying healthy. Like if your body's not quite right, it's hard to compete at a high level. If you take care of your body and you're feeling strong, you're feeling fit, then it's easy to kind of play every week. And also just, I think, serve and return is massive in the men's game. If you're not serving well, if you're serving at 45%, it's tough to hold. If you're not returning well as well, like it's tough to make any inroads on return games. And yeah, I just think, it's just such a big part of the game. So that's probably been the biggest thing I've been focusing on. And yeah, something I can probably get a lot better as well.
I'm curious, what does that look like? Because people say that you got to focus on your body. Is it literally as simple as like, I'm not doing McDonald's anymore, I'm not drinking soda anymore, all those little things? Or, what are the steps you take?
I mean, I just think it depends on the person. You got to really know your body well. And for me, I like doing a bit of gym even when I'm on the road, even when I'm at the tournaments, just so I feel strong. My body's feels like it's durable and yeah, that I can compete at a high level and it won't break down. And then I guess just listening to your body as well. Like if you've got a niggle and it's getting worse, or like you really have something that's bothering you, then just take a break, get it sorted, and then come back. It's tough to play every week when something's not feeling right. So
From a tennis perspective, anyone who's watched you play knows athleticism is not something you have an issue with, right? Speed wise, you're going to be able to hang with just about any opponent you can play when, given the health we've seen from you. Clearly, fitness wise, you're able to hang as well. On court, so frequently guys say, I need to make life a little bit easier for myself. I need to find ways to manufacture more +1s on the serve or whatever it may be. From a tennis perspective, is that the thing you're most focused on at this point?
yeah, I mean, I think it's a big one. Just setting up the point so you're kind of ahead in the first 2-3 shots is huge, because you don't want to be playing on the back foot too much, especially when you start going up levels. Like guys are just so good when they're ahead in the point. It's tough to come back from. If you drop a mid-court ball short and someone's running around for a forehand, like at a certain level, that's just trouble. So, just making sure you're ahead in the points on serve, and when you're returning, you're trying to be neutral as quick as possible. Yeah, I mean that'd be ideal if you could do that every single point.
Sure. No, I mean, and again, you're facing a Shelton or a Medvedev, and they're just raining aces on you. And there are times you're like, well, that adjustment didn't work. And I can only imagine what those frustrations are like. Where are you training right now? Are you based still out of Chapel Hill?
Yeah, so I've actually haven't been home to Australia since the Aussie Open. Whenever I have my off weeks, I've been going back to Chapel Hill at the moment. I actually spent a week training in Kiowa as well, down in South Carolina, which was really nice. But yeah, mostly Chapel Hill. I like training with the guys there. Obviously, it's just great atmos and yeah, it's just a great place. You can't really beat it. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to go back home soon, and I'll be training in Brisbane at the National Training Centre there, and then hopefully spend some time home as well in Sydney.
Is the North America Challenger Circuit frustrating at all because you see the same guys like week after week? Does that at all get? I mean, again, I imagine it's a little bit more diverse selection of players when you're on that ITF grind.
Oh, I mean, it's fine because you get to know everyone pretty well. You know, you make some good mates. It's also very nice when there's a few other Aussies around. It helps, you know, just a bit of banter and just having someone who understands Australian sport as well.
Have you asked Jason Kubler like to just share his meals? You're like, whatever you're doing, I would like to do as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. He's doing something right, isn't he? He's doing something right. I got to get the magic recipe off of him, but no, yeah, I mean, he's doing unbelievably. He's probably leaving me on the Chally Tour for very soon to play the tour event, so hopefully I can catch up to him soon.
No, you can go find him. Yeah, you'll have your shot. And, you know, again, obviously you're spending a lot of time grinding. I know when you're off the court, some of the things you like to do. You're a big golfer, is what I hear. Talk to me. If you were not a pro tennis player, would it be a pursuit of that PGA card?
Probably not, because I'm pretty bad. I'm pretty bad. So, like, I don't think I'd be a shot at all. I'd like to play. Hopefully I can get if I wasn't a tennis player, hopefully I could get a job that would let me play a lot, but definitely wouldn't be on the PGA. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. Does Will invite you, or is he like, you're not good enough yet?
No, absolutely not. No, to be fair, he has. We tried to play in Mexico. We've tried to play a few times, but I think I'd just hold him back a ton. So he plays with his legit guys, and I just play with the scrappers with Josh Peck and Benja. And
yeah. No, yeah, Kiger sent me a video. The draw, I got a drive and a lot of bouncing. Might have hit the foot off the tee. Not your best work.
Yeah, not pretty.
Yeah.
Not pretty.
No, you know what? It was pretty. Like the swing actually itself, technical. It looked nice, but the contact was rough.
Yeah, so probably the opposite of my tennis. My tennis might not look shabby, but at least I can kind of hit the ball in sometimes.
No, the tennis
golf swing might look all right, but it doesn't. End result's not good.
No, I like it. All right, talk to me about the Eels. Our Eels, 3 wooden spoons since the 2010s. Now, how's our 22 squad looking?
Are you talking Parramatta Eels?
Yeah, of course.
Have you done your NRL research?
Look, I'm ready.
Gee whiz, that's pretty good effort. Eels are currently in like 6th, I think. I think they're in the top 8. They're going to make the playoffs, and I think they're going to make a run.
All right, Eels are yeah, no, go ahead.
We've been beating the good teams. We've just been losing to the bottom of the table scrappers. So if we can sort that out, I think we have a genuine shot this year.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Haven't won the premiership since what, 86?
Yeah, look, we were in the final in 2008 or 9, I'm going to say, around then, and we lost to the Melbourne Storm, who were over the salary cap. So I'm counting that as a premiership.
Okay. Little asterisk there. I like that. You know, much like the 2020 NCAA title belongs to UNC, asterisk until you prove otherwise. Yeah. We'll do that same thing here for the Eels. I like that. Much, yeah. No, I like to hear that. No, it makes sense. And again, as you look out, you know, Blumberg's on TV or the Eels are on TV? Who are you watching?
I'll just go split screen.
Yeah. Who's on the bigger screen? That's the real question. Screen?
Probably the Parramatta Eels.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, makes sense. We've all seen enough of Will. Enough serves, enough forehands. You know,
he's probably going to win anyway. So, like, yeah, at least when I'm watching the Eels, like the end result's not certain.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And you know, again, with that in mind, 201 in the world. You've played 12 Challenger events, I believe, this season. Is that the focus for the rest of the year, playing at the Challenger level, trying to
Yeah,
keep
I think
building up?
so. Definitely. I think hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be my last futures event for the year and hopefully beyond. And then yeah, hopefully obviously US Open's a big one coming up, and then after that I'll have a look at the schedule. But yeah, I'm hoping to make a big push end of the year and then go into preseason and good Aussie summer hopefully.
I'm throwing it out there now. Noumea Challenger champion. Just lock it in. It just feels like that would be a good event for you to win.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I'd take that for sure.
Yeah, I think JJ Wolf won it a couple of years ago. It belongs in college tennis hands, and so
I think so.
yeah, it just checks out. But no, again, it's awesome to get the chance to chat with you, Rinky, and appreciate you taking the time, especially again to go from Los Cabos to Columbus. I mean, that's a testament to obviously your drive, and it's been really fun to watch you have this success over the past 18 months and throughout the course of your college career as well. And goes without saying, anytime you're bored, you need to chat. You want to chat a little Eels, I'm here for you. So always welcome back on the show.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot for having me. It's a lot of fun.
Of course, and good luck this week.
Thank you. Cheers.